Hi everyone, this is 90 Ermint and this is a video response to the hashtag Tarottoolstrio by Cormack Carr. So this is the original video. Okay, so I'm gonna present you with 3 tarot decks that are essential to me. So the first one was already mentioned a lot in this hashtag. It's obviously the Rider-Waite-Smith. I have the Centennial edition. I have another edition too, but I prefer the Centennial one. I really like the cardstock, and the other one I have is quite shiny. So I trimmed my card. I was actually inspired by somebody from the Tarot with Scissors group on Facebook. So I trimmed my cards too. And my trimming isn't perfect. Sometimes I cut the title a lot, but I still love my cards, and it doesn't even matter if I have the title or not, I'm able to recognize them. So I also painted the edges with a Sharpie. So now I have it blue. And the second tarot deck that I'm gonna talk about, it's probably one of my favorites, and it was out of print for a while. It was actually, when it was out of print, the prices ranged from $500 to $1,000, and they finally printed the second edition, and as soon as they printed the second edition, I bought 2 copies just in case one copy gets damaged and it goes out of print. And then when I received it, it was one of the most expensive tarot decks that I had, so I was too afraid to use it, so I kept it safe in my drawer, and I didn't want to use it. I was too afraid that it's gonna get damaged. So can you guess which deck it is? It's a deck about the European city. It's the Tarot of Prague. So the Tarot of Prague was actually the first deck that I was able to read with for myself. I wasn't really able to read for myself before. I would usually, when I would read for myself, I would get like the worst possible scenario, I'm gonna die tomorrow type of scenario. But this deck was actually able to connect with me, and when I read with this deck, I get exactly the message. I totally understand what they're saying. This is a deck of a old European city, Prague, and it reminds me of St. Petersburg city in Russia, because it's also an old European city. Actually, when I went to St. Petersburg last summer, I took the deck with me, and I took a bunch of pictures with monuments and architectures in St. Petersburg with it. But hopefully I'll be able to go to Prague one day and take pictures in Prague. So it is very beautiful. The price is $80 US. So my third tarot deck, it's actually the Lumina Tarot. And this is the first edition of the Lumina Tarot, because the first edition is a little bit bigger and the cardstock is thicker, and I prefer the first edition, to be honest. This is the back. I really like the art of the Lumina Tarot. I think the artist did a great job. It's beautiful. Alright, so I'm gonna talk to you about the 3 tarot books. The first book was already mentioned a lot in this hashtag. 78 Degrees of Wisdom by Rachel Pollack. And she's coming to Montreal in September. Hopefully I'll get to meet her, because I really admire her and respect her. This book, it's the basis of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, I'd say. What I really like about this book in comparison to a bunch of books about the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot is that she goes deeper in detail. She doesn't only describe the meaning of the cards. She talks about little things that maybe other books will not talk about. Like, for example, she made me realize how the Magician is pointing down. Also, I noticed the one, like, it was obvious to me, the one in the 4 elements, but I never noticed that he was pointing down, like, as above, so below. And she made me realize that. And also, for example, the 10 of Pentacles, you see there's the Kabbalah tree. I actually never noticed that it was the Kabbalah tree of life until I read the book. So that's why I like a lot this book. So the next book is very, very interesting too, and very complete, and it's very heavy too. So it's the Holistic Tarot by Annabelle Wen. This book has pretty much everything. It has meanings of cards. It has how to pick a signifier card. It has how to interpret spreads. It has a chapter on tarot and love. It has a bunch of very interesting things. It has, for example, it has a chakra spread. So I met Annabelle Wen at the Northwest Tarot Symposium in Portland in 2016, and she actually signed my book. Yeah, I was very lucky to meet her. Alright, so the next book is Tarot Spreads, Barbara Moore. So it was already mentioned in this hashtag a lot too. So I'm not gonna talk about 3 spreads. I'm gonna introduce 3 other things instead. But let's say the spreads that I would use would come from this book, and I usually use 3-card spread a lot. And it's not like past, present, or future. I usually use it like a story with 3 cards. So this is a good book for spreads. And now I'm gonna introduce 3 other things that I like a lot and that are essential to me. So the original Lenormand cards. I like to pull Lenormand cards sometimes when I ask questions. As you know, tarot talks a lot about emotions. It's like, he feels that way and you feel that way. But Lenormand is like, he does not love you. So Lenormand is sometimes more about action and like action straight in your face. It's not super emotional, no. But tarot can show action, but it's there's a lot of emotions in tarot and like archetypes and deep meaning, while Lenormand is more clear cut, I'd say. So I do like to use it sometimes. And so I guess my other tool that I would take with me, it's a book about Lenormand. It's the Essential Lenormand by Brenna George. And I met Brenna George also in Portland at the Northwest Tarot Symposium, and she signed my book also. I really like this book, and for every card she has a personal story. So it covers every card. It also covers the Grand Tableau, which is the big Lenormand spread. The other tool that I'm going to present to you is an oracle deck, the Vintage Wisdom Oracle. So this is my tool number 9. So this deck, this is the back of it. It's quite feminine. It has a lot of women. mostly women, what am I saying? It's a deck I usually use for myself. Alright, so my last tool, my special tool, and tool number 10 would be crystals. So when I travel, I always bring crystals with me. Especially, I guess my number one crystal would be Moldavite, which is, this little piece is like 80 Canadian dollars. I really like Moldavite because it's very, it's kind of spiritual and it's calming, and you just see the meaning and everything that's happening in your life, and you're like, okay, this happens because of that, and there's like a sense of connection to different human beings or even animals. Like you feel connected to the universe, let's say, and like if I have bad days and if somebody is annoying, this crystal, it really helps me to see the bigger picture of everything. I also like kyanite a lot, and kyanite is very good for intuition and connections, and I traveled with kyanite, not with this piece but with a small little pendant, and I would meet the weirdest people on the plane next to me. Like I would meet a Reiki practitioner. I would meet like my type of people on a bus or on a plane. It's very interesting with kyanite. I would also have some examples of crystals here. Obviously, moonstone for intuition, azurite, very psychic too. I'm not traveling without black tourmaline, you know. Black tourmaline always comes with me, and black tourmaline, it's actually the crystal that kind of helps me to not get absorbed by other people's emotions, because sometimes I would feel other people's emotions almost as if they were of my own. When I have black tourmaline on me, it's like I feel you, but I don't take it in. As an empath, it's quite a good crystal. Herkimer diamond, also very psychic. And should I show you a last one? Labradorite. Alright, so this is it. Thank you very much for watching, and namaste.